of Boulder, everyone at home, everyone who's here, everyone in the world. All right, we're going to start with a song this morning, so sing along with us if you know it. Love is my decision, up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now. Thanks for singing with us. Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Hey, good morning. Look at this crowd. Is it unbelievable?
Yes.
Wow, look at this.
Look at my Saturday service was. All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone who's here, and thank you for everyone who's watching us online. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us here on this beautiful Sunday morning, which is warming up because we have the doors open finally. Now we're realizing how much heat comes in from those doors.
That's right, that's right. Look, if you're watching us, why don't you just text a friend or get on Facebook and let them know that you're watching Unity of Boulder and their great Sunday service. We're looking to open up and bring people in to the church building, but we're still waiting for the governor to give us the okay. But next week, on Sunday, we're going to have 2 services out in our front parking lot. So join us. You can drive your car in, bring a lawn chair if you wish, and we're going to park most of the cars in the back lot, and we'll have chairs out in the front lot. So if you have a favorite lawn chair, bring it, but we'll have folding chairs out there too. So join us, because that's going to be it's almost like an opening.
Yeah, and I have 7 days to figure out how we're going to do that. So that'll be fun.
Well, we hired you for your your technology, your understanding.
Syntysche said, so we're going to still have live streaming, right? I said,
right.
Okay. So now I have to figure that out as well. So a sound system, live streaming, musicians that don't catch fire, because it's going to be really hot outside. You ready for that, Joel? We're excited for catching fire on next week.
Right.
Lots of sunshine coming down, Louis. Yeah? Lots of sunblock.
Yeah, show up sober. Show up sober, please.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just got back from a road trip. We just drove a lot over the Southwest, and it was really fascinating to see how each little city is handling this whole thing differently. Some would go into town and it was no masks anywhere, and you'd think life was normal and nothing had happened. And then some towns actually had signs outside of it talking about quarantine, make sure you have your mask, and that you have the curfew, you have to be out of there by 8, and don't travel through our town. It was really wild. So a lot of juxtaposition there. But if you're going to go on a road trip, map your bathrooms, because there's very few of them open to the public. This is something we learned the hard way.
Can you imagine them shutting down the gas station bathrooms because of the coronavirus? Because there's so many things in there that could kill you on the spot.
It's probably where it started anyway.
That's right. It's a good beginning.
It is. All right, so we are going to be doing the fellowship Zoom right after this service, probably right around noon. So if you do not have the information for that, you can email us at info@unityofboulder.com right now, and we'll get you that information. And also, I'm going to be opening up my Monday meditation tomorrow night, which is at 5:30. So you're welcome to come in person to that. We're going to do it in person and on Zoom. So just treat it like the regular regulations like you'd have at a restaurant. You'll need to wear your mask all the way into the meditation room. Once you've gotten your spot, you can take your mask off to meditate, but you'll have to put it back on to exit and do all that. And I'll have 6 feet of pillows separated out so we can work that out. So I'm happy to have people back. Whoever's brave enough to join us will be there, but we'll also be on Zoom.
Okay.
Can we do it?
We can do it. Next Sunday, 9 and 11, drive up and enjoy Unity of Boulder.
All right.
I'm doing a lot of sing-along songs today in preparation for next week. Looking forward to having everybody singing along with us again so I can hear ya. So you're welcome to sing this one. I'll give you the words. You are the light of love. I am the light of love. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light of love. And each verse we change to a different descriptor. You are the light of love. I am the light of love. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light of love. Now peace. You are
want to start by opening with a prayer. I think that this week calls for a prayer. And this prayer was written by Jill Raw, and it's called Prayer for Equal Dignity. We are all equals as human beings, sister and brother, equally loved before God. Yet our system discriminates based on education, abilities, race, luck. And many of God's children are placed into a hierarchy of inequality and discomfort. We are called to stretch out our arms between the tiny, exclusive tip and the broad platform of the masses, to form a bridge to create a way for those made unequal to come together as one in equality in human dignity. Loving God, creator of dignity in all that lives, help us be bridges. Help us cry out for respect and value for all. When society forgets that in our most basic nature, we are all God's children. Amen. Thank you, Unity Band and Aaron. Beautiful music. It's like heart-lifting, you know. I think all of us that are on a spiritual path can feel that there is a vibration in the world right now that is just, I'd say it's getting darker before the dawn. We know the dawn will come, but it definitely is not here yet. So my talk title today is titled Spirit's Mission to Heal the Collective. While our bodies and our senses tell us we are separate individuals, we are all one. We all individually vibrate as part of a single whole. And we are all one. As we witnessed this week, the people went to the streets and stood up for one of our brothers, George Floyd, whose mistreatment by a police officer caused his death. The people stood up. All races, all colors and ages stood up and said, no more. We will not witness this kind of separation any longer. While the upset, sadness, and disbelief was real, we are witnessing that the walls are starting to crumble down. The truth will make us free. And while it is hard to watch while things are starting to boil and simmer, kind of in that pot that just eventually can just bust open, that pot is busting open to reveal the truth, which gives much hope to many of us. But there is much more to do. We are witnessing a world in turmoil, lots of misleading news, mistrust for one another, lots of pointing fingers of individual opinions of the right and wrong ways to go about handling the climate of life at this time. And we know in Unity that this is an outer picture of the inner reflection of many people growing through their walk right now. They're leaning more in as human beings first, instead of spiritual beings first. In the Bible, in Psalms 23:4, it states, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Even though we are walking through one of the darkest valleys in many of our lifetimes, we cannot forget that at the core of everything, Spirit is divine in nature, and there is a reason for everything. There's a season for everything. And right now, we are in the midst of a balancing. We have been watching the scales sitting like this for much too long, from so many different levels. I'm sure you have your reasons why you'd see that the scales have been tipping, and now we're watching as we're trying to find this balance again. And balance doesn't usually come from people being quiet and putting their head in the sand any longer. It comes from us speaking up for the truth of our spiritual beings in knowing that we are all one. And we have a voice. And where we've seen discord in so many places, we will no longer tolerate this. And like they always say, it is always darkest before the dawn. But don't be dismayed. Have faith in the one power, the one presence active as the universe and in your life. Because God ultimately is good. It's human beings that fall off course. And it is trying times like this that bring us back into remembering that which is the true creator. And that is God, which is good. This whole thing that's happening in the world right now is bigger than you. It's bigger than all of us. But it is not bigger than the Christ consciousness that can move in and through us as the vehicles, as the voice, as the arms, as the hearts to bring change. This change we have all been praying for. And unfortunately, it's upheaval that will start to get the attention, to move the energy that has been sitting stagnant for much too long. I know that many of us can't help to be a little afraid and uncertain and even angry at times like this. It should not be suppressed. We're feeling our feelings, and when we feel our feelings, we heal things in the midst of us. This whole thing that's happening in the world is not just about the world. There's an inner shadow in all of us that also contributes to the turbulence we're seeing in the world, and I'm going to speak to that. I get there's a big global picture, and you're going to go, well, Syntysche, you're kind of missing the mark just talking about our issues, but ultimately when it comes down to it, we as a collective have to lift our consciousness. So we have to take to task our own spiritual work. If we hang our hearts and minds on the hooks of fear, rage, and manipulation, then somehow we are missing something that is bigger. The judgment and hate come from our collective well. We are part of this collective well, so you can't just point out here and think someone out there is the cause of all of it. We are all a part of it. We are not separate from it, no matter how we want to dress it up. It is actually part of the process of seeing and feeling what still needs to be addressed within each and every one of us. Yesterday, I had my eyes locked on the news. I haven't been watching the news. I saw that horrible video. I think it happened Tuesday. I think I saw it Wednesday. I stopped at one point. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't watch this. I don't know how they can keep playing this video. I don't want a child ever to see, even though they need to know what happened. But I stayed away from it because it was so massive, so wrong. But yesterday, I'm hearing from everybody that Friday night it got all crazy in all these cities, and people are starting to burn buildings, and all this is going on. So yesterday I was watching it and observing it from the human being and the spiritual being. The human being and the spiritual being, and I found myself angry, and I found myself sad, and I found myself wondering, what is it, God? What is it that got us to this point? How could we have let this go on for so long? We get that this was a big tragedy, that this happened to George Floyd. But I have a personal friend that her cousin was killed by a police officer last year. You know what I mean? I think every one of us have somebody that was just for a regular stop. No reason that this person, unarmed and everything, was killed. And it bothered me so much a year ago, but then I never really collectively thought, how much is this happening? But Black Lives Matter has been screaming from the tops of the mountains trying to tell us, you don't understand because you're not black. You don't understand that we're being treated less than. So to see the anger and to see what's happening, we understand it. We know that peaceful protest is probably more productive. But you just can be treated less than for so long, till the human spirit, the human dignity stands up and is almost willing to lose their life, to no longer tolerate it for their own children, for their own grandchildren. So searching for clarity from the higher realms, the unseen realms, what am I supposed to do right now? Because this isn't the only thing that's happening right now. I think that a lot of people are going to the streets because they were pushed into their houses for so long. And Shad was saying something recently in one of our coffee talks where, you know, the coronavirus, when people are like, well, just stay home, you know, that's said by people of means. Just stay home is an option for some people. For some people, that is not an option. You're not feeding your children if you're pushed to stay home from this COVID virus. Yeah, it's dangerous to others, but it's a deadly dangerous thing if you can't feed your family. The people of means are going, you stay home, you shouldn't work. And who's being hit by that? Again, are people of the minority in our country. So there's so many things happening that we're seeing here. I know personally, we've all been going through this turbulent time as far as the COVID is going on. In my counseling this week, these would be some of the things I've heard from people. I can't stand being isolated. Syntysche, you could never understand what it is like to not have family to go home to. I think you're a little bit insensitive on your platform when you talk about how this is overwhelming you, and yet you have a husband, and you have children, and you're working with your family every day. I have nobody to go home to. I have no reason to wake up. Each day has turned into Groundhog's Day, and I don't have any purpose. I have no reason. And for them, they don't care if they get COVID. They'd rather leave their home than to be stuck at home. Parents with small children are saying, I need to take my kids swimming. I need to take them to the park. I need to do the things that children need to do so that I'm not trying to maintain a very unnatural way of life for my little ones. And I feel the same way with my mid-teens, 12 and 14 years old. My 12-year-old's probably the one that concerns me the most because she's had no friend interaction. I need to worship with others. I need to talk about God with others. I need to feel a sense of connection and community. I need to come back to church. I need to be hugged. I need to be touched. I need to feel seen, and I want to see. I need to cry. And I need to laugh from my core. I need a job. I need to see my grandchildren. I need to put food on my table. I'm going to be reading from this book a couple times today, which is called Waking Up in 5D, which I'm starting a women's group this Thursday. It'll be first and third Thursday of the month, and this is a live group. I can only have 10 people join it. I already have 8 signed up, so if you want to join this group, Thursdays from 6 to 7:30, and it's $10 registration, and then it's $10 per week. And the book is $18, and it's Waking Up in 5D, and this is a passage from that. Every effort is being made to release people from trauma and drama and to minimize the shock that might be felt when this knowledge starts to become visible on a wide scale. This next piece is a channeled piece. We are not suggesting that people become desensitized as much as we are suggesting that people's humanity changes in a way that allows them to not need to desensitize, but to be open, aware, and allowing, which is why they need upgrades. And this is from 3D to 5D, which I talked about 2 weeks ago. Upgrades to prevent them locking down into fear consciousness. There are those that seek answers to the future. And we say to you with absolute certainty that the future is still uncertain. Not in a way that might make you fearful, but in a way that says that we require you to decide your future. We require you to participate in the remaking of this free will zone because you are in the middle of the free will zone while the remaking is occurring. This means when you encounter difficulty or trauma or drama, you must begin to use phraseologies that are fun and release you from attachment. When you encounter an obstacle that terrifies you, whether it is a bill you cannot pay. I know all sorts of people that are pushing off their mortgage payments right now because they cannot pay it, and that's going to meet them down the road, or their car payments. It's a really terrifying time when you can't pay your bills. So the situation that feels difficult to resolve, take a half step back and say, there's a solution here, and I'm looking to discover it right now. This is how we become, it's phraseology, visualization. I always talk about this in prosperity classes. You might think, there is no way to call in more prosperity in my life. Every avenue is shut down, and I don't have any way to make that money to pay these bills. And yet God is bigger than that. God is magic. Spirit is magic. In teaching my prosperity classes to thousands of people over the years, I have literally had people have money appear in their account for no reason. When they finally let go and saw and were open to the potential that something will come in and fill this void. Because the void, but you have to get out of the fear and you have to have phraseology. What is it that I want to see happen? Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze real quick. I think I am. Okay, never mind. Okay. It's that time of year, you know. I'm fine usually here. It's the second I get out to close to lions and it's like, all of a sudden, there's some tree out there right now. Or, you know, whatever that's coming up for you that stresses you out and worries you. You have to open the pathway to the solution that you have not thought of. You don't need to think of what that solution is. You just have to be merely open. And seeing this wave of financial support, or a wave of healing to your body, or a wave of whatever you're feeling stuck in and you're feeling fear around, that you don't feel like you can fix it on an intellectual level, but you can fix it on an open heart level and speaking to the universe and recognizing something will move into this. I'm not here to have more trauma or drama. I'm here to recognize my connection with this greater love, this greater power we call God. And when we look into the eyes of these difficulties, we say, you have no power. You have no power. When you're looking at that bill or you're looking at the pile of bills and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I have no idea how I'm going to get through this. You have no power. I always say, you know, I share this when I do counseling and people start to go into their symptoms of their illnesses. I was raised by a mother who said, don't ever listen to their symptoms. Your body will feel it immediately. And they do. I'm sure you've seen it so many times. Somebody tells you about some crazy, weird, creepy thing that they have going on in their body, and then the next day you wake up and you realize you're feeling it. Because we're psychic, intuitive beings. Our consciousness is so unbelievable. It also shows you that if we can do that to our body, we can also open up to this greater energy that can also bring money and spirituality into your life like this. But when I listen to somebody speaking to something that I do not want to take into my body, they might be sharing their symptoms, but in my mind, I'm saying cancel, 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 because I know they need to say it to get out of their system, but I don't need to take that on. This is called psychic protection. You've got to protect your physical, mental, and spiritual body at this time especially. As the rumblings are growing, I think we're going to see a little bit more rumblings, and we got to stay in that neutral place. We got to be the bending reed, the Tai Chi that moves with what we're seeing, but we don't attach onto it and move into the fear, but yet we are actually a conduit of bringing light and more love to this world. In Matthew 14, oh wait, there was more to that last slide. I'm going to move on. Matthew 14, and when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. they always refer to Jesus going somewhere onto the mountain, or you'll hear that he entered in the top of a roof of a house. There's always this heightening, there's always this something, and it refers to metaphysically the heightening, the state of consciousness at which he met the trials and tribulations of the physical, mental, and spiritual issues of the people that he healed. He went into his higher consciousness before he went to work the miracles that we watched him do. And he said to us, you too will work the same miracles as I do if you believe in me. Our belief in the Christ consciousness that's in each and every one of us, getting out of the fear, getting out of this vibration, and moving into the higher consciousness before we step into paying our bills, before we step into these things that we're feeling the discord, and we're trying to find phraseology of positivity and prayer around the things that are not moving right now so that we may move them into healing and don't have to have them taking our good away from us. And so another thing I was saying at the beginning of the service is it's not just that we're seeing these marches because this terrible inequality happening. But before this happened this week, there was a lot of pointing fingers of people on Facebook that I was noticing of the people that wear masks versus don't wear masks and how they're handling the COVID thing, and everybody's saying everybody else is doing it wrong, and it's separating us. We're finding where we don't get along. Instead of remembering that we are also brothers and sisters, whether we have different opinions or not. That doesn't mean we stop loving each other. I had a person yesterday, I was driving with my daughter, and this big truck just came flying up behind me and just started like screaming and yelling, and I'm like, okay, I'm at a yellow arrow, and there's cars coming this way, and I have my blinker on. What am I doing? Like, I said to Katya, she's 12, I'm like, am I doing something wrong? She's like, I don't know, I don't drive, you know? And I turned, and it shook my being for a long time. It was just like, first of all, I don't know why you're so angry, and I don't know what I did, but okay. So our shadows are coming up. There's an unearthing of our shadows that are coming up, and that's for everybody, me included in certain areas. So why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? It's so easy to point at what everybody else is doing wrong instead of looking where you can correct. You can correct things yourself. There's always more to do. There's always more to grow. The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality. For no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real. This act is the essential condition for any kind of self-knowledge. And if we don't recognize the shadow in all of us, it's like sitting on a volcano. This is from the book Radical Forgiveness. Repressing this kind of energy is like sitting on a volcano. We never know when our strength will give out, thus allowing the lava, the shadow, to spurt forth and wreak havoc on our world. This explains why we need to bring in a scapegoat on whom we can project all that shame. That way we can be free of it, at least temporarily. I saw that in counseling this week. Projection. There's a lot of projection in some marital counseling and in some other things, and I won't go into details, but it's like, whoa, man, there is a lot of finger pointing. People want to say it's somebody else's fault, that we're all in this uncomfortable place, that we're all in. Nobody's exempted. It was like, well, but I'm more of a victim. I'm having a harder time with this because, And this one's like, no, but I'm having a hard time because it's harder on me because this is the setup that I have. And the truth is, it's hard on all of us. And how do we still bring more loving kindness to all of it? Even when we have repressed the feelings and our memories associated with a life event, we know on an unconscious level that the shame, guilt, or self-criticism associated with it remains within us. So if we are not healed in different areas of our life through our childhood, through an old marriage or whatever, it's bubbling up right now. So we attempt to rid ourselves of that pain by taking it out on ourselves and transferring it onto someone or something else outside of ourselves. This projection process allows us to forget we ever possessed such feelings. And this is a picture from her book, where you're projecting. You disgust me. You are such a liar. You are a cheat. Or you should be wearing a mask because you're not making me safe. Or whatever we've been saying to each other, we project this, and this is what has to end. The spiritual work is an inner work. The spiritual work is where we find our balance. And in the end, we find that collective balance. Maybe we should be practice believing that God dwells in you already. Remember that God dwells in all others too. Be still and know that I am God. Practice believing that God dwells in you already. But most importantly, remember that God dwells in all others too. There's just a cleaning up happening on a spiritual, mental, and physical way for people right now. So let's see how old my kid is. So about 17 years ago, my mom and I were on a march down in Denver, and it was an environmental march about the planet, and we took my daughter that was about 6 years old to the march, and it was really hot in the summer, and it was getting a little bit heated, and we'd been walking for miles throughout Denver, and I was having flashbacks of it yesterday watching the marches, and I did love seeing Denver's march and them laying down and affirming that this poor person was asking for help, and we didn't help him. I didn't like watching it. I liked what they were pointing out, that all races were laying with their arms like this, saying, I can't breathe. That we related with what that means and to not be heard. So I'm going back to this march, and we're walking forever, and eventually Renya had to go to the restroom, and so there's a Popeye's chicken. We're down in Denver, and the place is packed, so I decide I'll go buy a drink while my mom takes her to go to the restroom, so we're at least paying to use the bathroom. And somehow, in the time of me getting the drink, Renya had run ahead of my mom and went into the bathroom, and the door closed and locked her into a room with no windows, no vents. It was just a square cement room, and the lock was at the very top of the door inside. And I'm frantic. I mean, I still to this day, when I think about it, I can't even, because I have massive claustrophobic issues anyways, because my older brother, Dell, sewed me into a pillowcase as a little kid, and I've never been the same. So any small space, and the thought of my kid being stuck in this box, and there's not even a grill to try to close. I mean, it's like a cement box. And I'm frantic, and I'm screaming, and I'm running to the counter. It's like, you have no ego when you're going through something. It's like, I don't even know what I look like, but I was beside myself going to the counter. Is there any window? No, there's nothing. And this little woman, peaceful, clearly is one of the peaceful with her beads, beautiful, probably in her 50s, says, you need to calm down. And I'm blaming my mom. I'm just ripping my mom. How could you let her out of your sight? How could this possibly have happened, And I'm watching her, and time is in slow motion, and I'm watching, I can't, and Arenya's screaming, because I'm in fear outside. So she's hearing me not stay calm and help her. How are we going to get her out? Call 911, I'm, doing all this. And the lady walks over to the door, and she's standing by the door, and she goes, what's your daughter's name? And I said, Arenya, and she goes, Arenya, sweetie, is there a trash can in that room? She goes, yeah, there's a trash can. And she goes, okay, now turn it over. Okay. And she turns it over, and I'm watching, I'm just like, I'm watching this lady do this comment. I am literally going to suffocate to death. I'm practically like in convulsions on the ground while this lady's in slow motion talking to my kid. Okay, now, Arenya, I need you to stand on that trash can. Okay, and she stands like, she goes, now I need you to reach with all your might, and you have to push that lock over. And she pushed the lock over. I mean, and I had my hand ready to push it, because I didn't know it was one of those twisty ones that, like, you know, that are hard to hold or whatever. Click, and I open, and I mean, I grabbed that kid. It was like such a relief. And when I was thinking about that yesterday, it's kind of like how I think we feel right now. We've all been kind of been put in a box, and we can't quite reach the lock to let us out. And kind of metaphorically, we're being left in this box to have to be with thyself. And it's uncomfortable. And it's even making people hyperventilate. And it's making people want to be mean to each other. And it's separating us instead of creating a collaboration where we see each other through new eyes and recognize we're about to all get to come back together. What are we going to bring to each other when we do? So I feel like, you know, one of the things I love to do to keep myself in a good mood in life, I like to watch funny bloopers of newscasters on YouTubes. I just love that stuff. Mike's like, I don't know how you could watch these over and over. I just love watching people bust up with a camera watching them. And the other thing I love to watch are these unlikely animal videos where animals that should, as breeds, should morally be enemies, and yet they've been showing us now through these YouTubes for years now that they found a way to co-create. And so I thought we'd just watch some animals doing that, because I think they're setting a standard for all of us. Yeah, she is. Okay. I need to say that. that video is like 12 minutes long, so I wish you could watch the entire thing because there's so much cute stuff. It just makes my heart squishy. But one of the things I did want to point out is that the woman that helped me get Arinya out of that room was ethnic, and she was clearly in a sari and with her, mala beads, and I think about her, like she comes to mind almost like an angelic vision of, you need to calm down. You need to listen to your intuition and figure out what is being called of this situation. So I wanted to leave with this last slide, and then I have a really beautiful song that I wanted to share with you. But this is what Dr. Martin Luther King said. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Where can we bring more love to every situation, no matter what they do? How can we bring more love, more healing love? So I'm going to share a video that I saw on Facebook last week, and it was an old friend of ours here at Unity that used to perform about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer, and she was incredible. And then I saw this played, and I was just really touched by it, and I reached out to her and I said, would you mind if I share this video of you singing? And she said, I would love it. So here is Danya Rivers.
Calm down, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're brave. Calm down, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're safe. Even though I may not know you, please know I'm here for you. Together we're safe. Illusionary borderlines dissolving in the light between us. Together we're safe. So calm down, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're brave. Calm down, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're safe. If you feel scared or broken, take this precious seed of hope and know together we're safe. It's a newborn world outside. Lay down your shield, no need to hide. Together we're safe. So rise up, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're brave. Rise up, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're safe. Rise up, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're brave. Rise up, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're safe. Rise up, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're brave. Rise up, everybody, it's all right. Be not afraid. Together we're safe.
right, we'll take an offering for unity now, and we still have another incredible number about to perform, but I want to thank Danya Rivers for letting me use that beautiful video, and we'll post it on our website, and I would love you all to share it and get it out there because it's such a beautiful song, and I think it's really what we all need to hear. So let's get it out there and promote this incredible beauty that is sharing music. That's her ministry. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Syntysche, for another powerful talk. This is our opportunity to give back. We have received, we have been blessed by that message, by this music we've heard today. So now it's our time to give in that exchange of energy by giving financially. So we invite you to look at whatever platform you're watching on right now, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or our website. You're going to see a donate button on that screen. But we are still accepting donations in other ways. You can text to give. You can also send money in to our mailing address, which we have at the bottom of the screen right there. And we have, of course, the Easy Tithe app to assist us in this wonderful process. We can actually track your giving throughout the year and adjust it up or down if you need to and set up recurring giving. So many different ways to get engaged here. But remember that this is a spiritual process. This is not just us giving away of something, but it's a spiritual tool we use here in Unity to help us open up those restrictions inside us, those lack consciousness barriers we have that sit inside us around finances, so we can start to bridge those open and create some flow into this world that is so needed at this time. All right, so I invite you to take your offering, whether it be digital or spiritual or physical, and put it in the palm of your hands right now and see it surrounded in glowing light as we send this blessing to this offering that we're about to put forth. If you join me in saying, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive because I give. And we do have a special opportunity. She's going to introduce herself, so I'll let her do that.
Hello, I'm Heidi Alina. You can find me on Facebook, Heidi Alina Musician, or search for @GoddessRhythm. What I really wanted to play today was the Revolutionary Etude. I don't have that in my repertoire at the moment, so I'm going to bring you Chopin Waltz, C-sharp minor, Opus 64, number 2. And just want to dedicate this to everyone out there in pain and in need. And may we waltz into the light.
Thank you, Heidi. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I just want to tell you all that I am so excited to see you all next week. So please come. I mean, we're going to make it safe for you. It will be outdoors. It'll be the first time we've ever done kind of like a concert service. We'll be speaking and music in the front parking lot, and you'll park in the back and bring your lawn chair. If you don't own a lawn chair, we'll have folding chairs for you. We'll put them out for you. We are so stoked to see you, so please come. And in the back area, if you have little children, we're going to have an area so the kids can like interact if you feel safe about it, and we'll have people to kind of help with it in the particular area. But it's going to be awesome, and I want to really get a great photograph because I think it's going to be something that will be in the lobby forever, just this moment that we all went through together, and you'll all be a part of that. So we'll see you both services. 9 and 11 will both be the celebration service. So the same music will be at both services. Jack will do the sermon first service.
No, I think maybe Shadow will do the first service.
Nah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, Shad will do the
I
first
don't want
service.
to write a talk. I got to do the sound. I got to do everything else.
Oh
You
yeah,
want me to
he's
write the
doing all the
talk too?
technical. He's got to do the technical, Mom. Leave it. All right.
By the way, you're supposed to be up here singing with us.
The next week. Yeah, come on up here. Okay, we're going to sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we're going to sing it today in such a deep way to see this world surrounded in the light. We have got to see peace prevail and equality happen, and we're going to be part of that energetically. So for the 3 people that are with us, you can stand up and join us. 4 people. We have a few people that came and they didn't hear that we were not going to actually open, and we let them come and visit with us.
Good thing we're still doing it in here, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take and live in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And let's go right into I release and I let go. Here we go. I release
And I let go, and let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. In the Spirit, let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only